The origins of World War II trace back to the unresolved tensions of World War I and the harsh terms imposed on Germany by the Treaty of Versailles. Economic hardship and national humiliation fueled the rise of Adolf Hitler, who promised to restore Germany's power. Meanwhile, Italy and Japan pursued their own expansionist ambitions, challenging the fragile peace. International efforts to contain aggression failed, and by September 1939, Germany's invasion of Poland ignited a conflict that would soon engulf the entire globe. Section 1. The Gathering Storm. How World War II began. The origins of World War II lay in the unresolved issues of World War I and the punitive conditions imposed by the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. Germany, economically crippled and humiliated, became a breeding ground for extremist ideologies. Adolf Hitler's rise to power in 1933 capitalized on widespread discontent, promising to restore Germany's former glory. In parallel, Italy under Benito Mussolini and Japan under militarist factions sought territorial expansion. Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1935, and Japan seized Manchuria in 1931, followed by a full-scale invasion of China in 1937. The League of Nations proved powerless to curb aggression. Germany's remilitarization of the Rhineland, 1936, and the Anschluss, annexation of Austria, in 1938, emboldened Hitler. The Munich Agreement of 1938, where Britain and France appeased Hitler by allowing the annexation of the Sudetenland, only delayed conflict. In August 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact shocked the world, as Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union agreed to divide Eastern Europe. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland using blitzkrieg tactics. Britain and France, honoring their commitments to Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. World War II had begun. Within weeks, the Soviet Union invaded eastern Poland, and Finland faced Soviet aggression in the Winter War. Meanwhile, the United States, weary from World War I, adopted neutrality, but began to prepare for the possibility of involvement, passing measures like the Lend-Lease Act to support allied nations. Global tensions escalated rapidly, setting the stage for a conflict that would engulf every continent. Section 2. Blitzkrieg and the Global Expansion of War, 1939 to 1942. Germany's Blitzkrieg strategy emphasized speed and coordination, combining air assaults with fast-moving ground forces. Poland fell within weeks. By April 1940, Germany invaded Denmark and Norway, securing vital resources and strategic positions. In May, Germany launched simultaneous invasions of Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. The Maginot Line proved ineffective against German tactics, and France capitulated in June 1940. Britain, under Winston Churchill's leadership, vowed to fight on. The Battle of Britain, July-October 1940, saw the Royal Air Force fend off the Luftwaffe in history's first major air campaign, thanks to radar technology and indomitable spirit. In Africa, Mussolini's Italy attacked British forces in Egypt but suffered defeats. Germany dispatched Rommel and the Afrika Korps, rejuvenating Axis hopes in North Africa. Meanwhile, Hitler turned east. Operation Barbarossa commenced on June 22, 1941, targeting the Soviet Union. German forces achieved rapid initial success, capturing millions of Soviet prisoners. Yet by December, winter and fierce Soviet resistance, particularly around Moscow, halted the German advance. Simultaneously, Japan expanded across Asia, occupying French Indochina. The U.S., imposing oil embargoes, became a target. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, bringing the U.S. into World War II. Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S., turning the conflict into a truly global war. Battles erupted across the Pacific, including the Philippines, Malaya, and Hong Kong. Axis powers appeared dominant, but the tide would soon shift. Section 3. Turning Points. The Tide Shifts, 1942 to 1943. The year 1942 marked critical turning points in both Europe and the Pacific. In June, the Battle of Midway ended Japanese naval supremacy. American codebreakers, deciphering Japanese plans, enabled Admiral Nimitz to ambush and destroy 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, turning the tide in the Pacific. In North Africa, the Second Battle of El Alamein, October-November 1942, saw British General Bernard Montgomery decisively defeat Rommel. Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa led by Eisenhower, squeezed Axis forces between American and British armies, culminating in Axis surrender in Tunisia in May 1943. On the Eastern Front, the Battle of Stalingrad, August 1942, February 1943, proved catastrophic for Germany. Fierce Soviet resistance, brutal urban combat, and encirclement tactics led to the destruction of the German Sixth Army. The Soviet victory marked a seismic shift, forcing Germany onto the defensive. The Pacific Theater saw intense battles at Guadalcanal, August 1942, February 1943, where American forces halted Japanese expansion in the Solomon Islands. The Allied momentum accelerated in 1943. The invasion of Sicily, Operation Husky, and the Italian mainland led to Mussolini's downfall. Italy surrendered in September 1943, although Germany fiercely resisted Allied advances. Strategically, Allied victories demonstrated that Axis powers could be defeated. Morale surged, and plans for a cross-channel invasion of Western Europe were set in motion. Section 4. Liberation and Total War, 1943 to 1945. In 1944, the Allies launched Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious invasion in history. On June 6, D-Day, Allied forces landed on Normandy's beaches under immense German fire. After establishing a beachhead, the Allies broke out into the French countryside and liberated Paris by August. In the east, the Red Army launched Operation Bagration, June-August 1944, decimating Germany's Army Group Center and advancing into Poland and the Balkans. Meanwhile, the Pacific Campaign intensified. The Battle of Leyte Gulf, October 1944, the largest naval battle in history, destroyed much of Japan's fleet. Island-hopping campaigns targeted Iwo Jima and Okinawa in 1945. The fierce Japanese defense signaled how costly a home island's invasion would be. Germany's last major offensive, the Battle of the Bulge, December 1944 and January 1945, temporarily shocked Allied forces, but ultimately that failed. By spring 1945, the Allies crossed the Rhine River, while Soviet forces closed in on Berlin. The Battle of Berlin, April-May 1945, featured brutal urban combat. On April 30th, Hitler committed suicide. Germany unconditionally surrendered on May 8, 1945, VE Day. In the Pacific, facing the prospect of massive casualties from a mainland invasion, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima, August 6th, and Nagasaki, August 9th. Japan surrendered on August 15th, formally on September 2, 1945, VJ Day, ending World War II. Section 5. The Atomic Age and Aftermath. The aftermath of World War II saw devastation on an unprecedented scale. Over 60 million people perished. Cities like Warsaw, Berlin, and Tokyo lay in ruins. The Holocaust revealed the depths of Nazi atrocities, with 6 million Jews murdered. The United Nations was founded in 1945 to promote peace and prevent future conflicts. Germany and Japan were occupied and rebuilt under Allied supervision. The Marshall Plan provided aid to rebuild Europe's shattered economies. However, wartime alliances quickly fractured. The ideological divide between the capitalist West and communist East birthed the Cold War. Europe was divided into spheres of influence, with Eastern Europe falling under Soviet domination. Decolonization accelerated. British, French, and Dutch colonies sought independence, reshaping global demographics and politics. Technologically, World War II accelerated advancements in medicine, computing, aviation, and nuclear energy. However, the horror of Hiroshima and Nagasaki introduced a persistent existential threat. World War II's legacy endures. It reshaped borders, redefined superpower dynamics, and forged international institutions. Its lessons on tyranny, resilience, sacrifice, and unity remain profoundly relevant. World War II was not merely a clash of armies. It was a battle over the future of humanity. It tested and ultimately reaffirmed the principles of freedom, dignity, and hope. World War II fundamentally reshaped the modern world. It redrew national boundaries, dismantled colonial empires, and fostered the rise of two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, setting the stage for a new ideological conflict, the Cold War. The war's destruction prompted a re-evaluation of international cooperation, leading to the creation of the United Nations and other institutions aimed at preserving peace. Advances in technology, medicine, and communication during the war transformed civilian life, while the horrors of the Holocaust demanded a new global commitment to human rights. Yet, the cost was staggering. Tens of millions dead, economies shattered, and countless lives permanently altered. Cities lay in ruins, and entire communities were erased. In many ways, the world that emerged after 1945 was a direct response to the desire never to repeat such devastation. World War II demonstrated both the darkest depths of human cruelty and the greatest heights of human courage. Its lessons about power, prejudice, leadership, and resilience remain urgently relevant. Today, as new challenges arise, the memory of World War II serves as a solemn reminder. Peace must be protected, democracy must be defended, and history must be remembered.